Patch 11.1 Undermine is finally here, and there have been some major developments for Havoc Demon Hunter. Whether you're a returning player or someone completely new to Havoc and you want to try it out, this video will tell you all of the important changes so you can stay caught up and in the know about everything Havoc.
Havoc is going to be pretty good this season.
We'll start with spec-specific updates and then move into both the Aldrachi Reaver and Fel Scarred hero talent trees. There have been some pretty amazing changes all around, so stay tuned throughout the whole video to catch all of it. We've all dreamt of designing video games at one point in our lives, and now with Bootdev, that's not such a crazy idea. Well, it is a little crazy, and that's actually what makes it so enjoyable. Learning backend development could be your key to success, and it all starts here with Bootdev. Start learning today by using my link to get 25% off your first purchase of whichever plan suits you. So here's how it actually works. Bootdev has gone ahead and essentially gamified the learning process. They've made it not only easy, but incredibly engaging by giving you levels to gain, quests to fill, leaderboards to climb, and even community raids. They've taken the act of learning, a valuable life skill, and turned it into an RPG game. Amazing. The best part about this is that it's using our language, the language we use as gamers, to help you understand, process, and then apply the skill of coding. Programmers have amazing earning potential. According to Stack Overflow, the median salary for backend developers in the US in 2023 was over $100,000. This was put together for gamers by gamers who are actually in the industry. You'll learn backend web development from start to finish in the Python and Go programming languages. You can go as slow or as fast as you want because this is an RPG game. And you're in control. And hey, if you ever get stuck, Bootdev has an AI bear wizard who has been trained on all the lessons and can walk you through your problems using the Socratic method. If you're ever completely stuck or you just want to see how the instructor wrote the code, there are solutions available for every challenge on the site. Bootdev wants every student to feel like they spent their money on something worthwhile. So if for any reason you feel like the program isn't helping you, there's a 30-day, no questions asked return policy. So again, go to boot.dev/Jedith. You'll get 25% off your first order so you can start learning and building right away. So Any Means Necessary was removed. Any Means Necessary was a talent that converted the damage of your abilities into chaos damage if they weren't already chaos. When an ability does chaos damage, it then increases in damage due to your mastery stat. Since being introduced back at the start of Dragonflight, this talent became more and more narrow in terms of abilities it actually had an influence on. Abilities that it once converted, like the Hunt and Sigil of Spite, formerly known as Elysian Decree, have been swapped to deal chaos damage baseline, which left Any Means Necessary really only interacting with one or two important abilities and really not worthy of being a capstone talent for Havoc. The two abilities that it still had an effect on were Immolation Aura, which was important because it increased the damage of Rage Fire, and Demon Surge, Fel Scarred's bread and butter. But don't worry, after removing Any Means Necessary, an extra line was added to the talent A Fire Inside to still convert Immolation Aura to chaos damage, and Demon Surge was buffed many times to compensate for the lack of mastery scaling. Now, with Any Means Necessary out of the way, this freed up a spot on the talent tree to give us everyone's favorite tier set bonus from the past, Screaming Brutality. This enables Blade Dance and Death Sweep to automatically use a charge of Throw Glaive anytime it's pressed. And yes, those extra glaives are affected by the Throw Glaive modifying talents in our tree. Not only is this talent visually really cool and fun to use, but it's also extremely powerful and enables some massive damage in our breakdown with Soul Scar. We also received a reworked Cycle of Hatred. It's gone from a 2-point node to 1 point and now reduces the cooldown of I-Beam by 5 seconds for every cast, up to a maximum of 4 stacks or 20 seconds reduction total. This means we get I-Beam every 20 seconds instead of 40 seconds, which is pretty amazing. Now, for one of the most praised changes that Havoc has received over the past few years, Movement for Damage, aka Momentum, has gotten a complete overhaul and is way easier to manage. The Momentum talent was replaced with Exergy. Exergy is triggered by either pressing the Hunt or Vengeful Retreat and gives you a 5% damage increase for 20 seconds. That's right, 20 seconds. And Vengeful Retreat is on a 20-second cooldown, meaning as long as you're pressing Vengeful Retreat every 20 seconds, you will always have this buff. The other option is Inertia, which also got a rework. Instead of being tied to Immolation Aura, Inertia is again tied to the Hunt and Vengeful Retreat. Pressing either of these abilities enables you to get inertia by either Fel Rushing or pressing Fellblade. That's right, you have an option. You don't have to Fel Rush all the time. Which then leads me to my next point. Fellblade was adjusted to always cancel the animation of Vengeful Retreat, meaning you'll never have those awkward moments where you VR and try to Fellblade back in, but your character doesn't move. All of these changes to Havoc's movement for damage are a massive quality of life improvement and are honestly so impactful that people who were thinking of re-rolling just aren't anymore. Now with all the class and spec stuff out of the way, let's move on to the first hero talent tree. Fel Scarred was the go-to hero talent tree for Havoc and Vengeance in Season 1 of The War Within due to its simplicity and insane burst damage, and while not much has changed, there were some small things that we should definitely take a look at. First and foremost, Demon Surge was changed from being completely uncapped to drop-off damage beyond 8 targets. And this might sound horrible at first, but truly ask yourself, how often were you fighting more than 8 targets at once? There might have been a few big pulls in Mythic Plus if your group was brave enough, but with how the War Within has been so far, those massive pulls from the past aren't happening as often as they once were. Another important change on the Fel Scarred tree that you should know about is Student of Suffering. This was reduced to provide a little less mastery when you use Sigil of Flame, and the other talent on the choice node, Flamebound, was buffed from increasing Immolation Aura's critical damage by 25%, all the way up to 50%. There were some other number tweaks here and there, but ultimately, Fel Scarred still plays the same, simple, straightforward, and big burst AoE damage. So, Aldrachi Reaver, and yes, that's how you pronounce it,
Witness the might of the Aldrachi!
Has received some pretty substantial changes to make it a lot more fluid and direct to play. While the fundamentals are still the same, there's less micromanaging and lining up of buffs. You're still collecting soul fragments, spending them on Reaver's Glaive, and then completing the pattern in a way that reflects the type of fight you're in, single target or AoE. One of the great new changes is that pressing Fellblade will now scoop up all of the soul fragments around you, meaning you don't have to run around like a chicken with your head cut off trying to gather up all the souls. The end result of your pattern, either getting the 14% damage taken Reaver's Mark debuff on your target, or the extra slashes from Blade Dance, have been balanced in a way where it really won't matter which one you do on a single target boss fight. If you press Reaver's Glaive and you don't have a Blade Dance available to start with, that's okay. You can press Chaos Strike first, get a 7% debuff on the target, and then press Blade Dance when it's available to get the extra slashes, and it all just works out to be okay. The most impactful change to Aldrachi Reaver is Wounded Quarry, which now takes 20% of all physical damage done to all enemies and funnels it into your Reaver's Mark target as chaos damage. This change alone really carves out a niche for Havoc's damage while playing this hero talent and gives it an edge that not many classes in this game can bring. While tuning of this is going to be a roller coaster ride for a little while, it will end up as a pillar of Aldrachi's damage output no matter what, and can lead to some very fun and engaging gameplay. Now, if you're looking for information on which of these 2 hero talents you should be playing and when, or if you're looking for some help with your opener and rotation, check out the other Havoc videos on my channel and make sure you're subscribed so you can stay in the loop with all things Havoc. And hey, if you're already a sub, thank you. If you go ahead and give this video a like, that will tell YouTube that you want to see more of this content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.